I want to talk to you today about getting a good reference book, a good general reference book about nonprofit organizations. And you might be asking, why do I need this book? What is important about doing that? Because I specialize in fundraising, or I specialize in IT or accounting or whatever. However, that whatever it is you specialize in, I'm sure you do great, it's really important to get a broader view of the nonprofit organization generally. So I want you to look at grabbing one of these books I'm going to talk about here. The first one is the Nonprofit Handbook, Everything You Need to Know to Start and Run Your Nonprofit Organization. It's the 4th edition by Gary Grobman. It is a nice endorsement here by Joe Geiger, who was, until a few years ago, the executive director of the Pennsylvania Association of Nonprofits. And it gets into the decision to incorporate and steps to incorporate and bylaws and strategic planning and ethics and fiscal issues and personnel and liability, volunteers. I mean, this is a pretty comprehensive book. The point I want you to take away here is that the more you know broadly about nonprofits, especially those of you who are coming from outside the nonprofit field to consult or have a vendor relationship with a nonprofit, the more you can put your work in context, the better off you are working with a nonprofit organization. But, the Grobman book isn't the only one out there. There is the one that I'm a little more familiar with here, Michael Worth, Nonprofit Management Principles and Practice, 3rd edition. I know I've seen the previous editions as well. Another solid general book about what nonprofit management is all about and the issues that nonprofits face. And then a third one I have here on my bookshelf is the Executive Director's Guide, the Guide for Successful Nonprofit Management, put out by the the third sector of New England, and I believe it is endorsed by the Massachusetts Bay United Way. And in this one, we're talking about leadership, mission and values, program development, evaluation, governance, a lot of topics that public relations, fund development, financial management, again, to give you a broad view of what nonprofits are all about so that you know where your specific consulting fits in. And when you're in meetings with leadership of nonprofit, when you're talking to them about what you do, you can speak with some intelligence, or at least be aware of what they're talking about when they're making references to the other parts of their nonprofit organization. Because it's important to remember that nonprofits, while will benefit from working like a business, are not businesses. They're nonprofits. They have a double bottom line, right? There's money and mission as opposed to simply money for a for-profit business. So getting the context right is really important, especially if you haven't been in a nonprofit. But even if you have, you may have been so narrowly focused on your area, which is what made you good to be a consultant, that you need to have this little broadening.